Hello friends, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365, and today I'm going to give you 10 4K Blu-rays from Arrow Video you should definitely check out. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification. You can also find me over Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd at Movie Guy 365. Okay, in this video, I'm going to give you 10 4K Blu-rays from Arrow Video that I think you should definitely check out. For those unfamiliar, Arrow Video is a boutique label that specializes in Blu-ray and, as of a couple years ago, 4K Ultra HD releases. And when it comes to boutique labels, I think personally, and a lot of collectors agree, they put out some of the best quality stuff. Not just with picture quality and, a lot of times audio, but extras. A lot of collectors enjoy extras and they go really deep dive into many of them. And, there's a lot of great forgotten gems when they are licensed out to labels like Arrow Video. They really give it the best efforts and bring a whole new audience and attention to that particular film. One of the things that I think sets Arrow Video in particular, aside from a lot of the boutique labels, is their packaging. They have a lot of what they call limited edition releases, which includes booklets, lobby cards, double-sided artwork on the case itself, just even a poster. And they really put in a lot of external as well as internal goodies for the price that you pay. Yes, boutique labels typically cost more than your average 4K disc from a studio, but you pay for that, that's where the money goes, and I think a lot of people appreciate that. And for those that are not interested in that extra swag stuff, usually Arrow Video several months later after the initial release will come out with just a standard edition or a steelbook that just includes the movie and the internal extras on the disc. So for this video, this is not necessarily a top 10 list. It's not listed in any particular order. These are just 10 movies from Arrow Video that they have the rights to. They put out 4K discs and that I think you should be aware of and check out for yourself. All right, so let's not waste any time. Let's dive right into my first one. This first release from Arrow Video you should check out is the most recent one, and that is Wild Things on 4K. If you're a fan of the film, you're going to get the best possible version here, no doubt about it. I was very impressed, and I did a full review of this one on my channel, so check that out. And, for the time period of the film, I think it really stands up well. It has a great encode, and with the HDR and Dolby Vision grading, it just accentuates those colors very nicely. Black levels are spot on. And, revisiting this one after a few years, I think the best possible presentation was given by Arrow, and they did a wonderful job on the disc. I like the extra bit of swag and the extras included. So yeah, check out Wild Things. It's going to bring back some memories for sure. So yeah, absolutely see this one for yourself on 4K. For those that love a good sci-fi, Arrow Video definitely has you covered. Pitch Black is another release from Arrow, and I really enjoy what they did here. For those that are familiar with the movie, it has a lot of stylistic, choices going on in front of the camera. And I think really what we get with the HDR grading just gives you the best possible visual presentation. Film grain is dense, but it also is appropriate. And I think the colors, the various locations really pop off the screen. Once again, you can't necessarily compare this to your average film, but for what we get, Arrow did a wonderful job here. They put out a great product. And while it's not technically a limited edition, I think it really still is worth owning, and it's just an awesome presentation on 4K. Fans of director Dario Argento, Arrow Video absolutely has you covered. Several films from the director's resume have made their way to Arrow Video in limited edition releases, and I think many more will be in the future. The Bird with the Crystal Plumage, Deep Red, The Cat O' Nine Tails, they look fantastic, often supporting HDR and Dolby Vision. And if you enjoy a good thriller and the director's own trademarks, Arrow will absolutely keep you satisfied. These films look fantastic, and I am a big fan of the director personally. And for those looking for something different, check them out. And Arrow Video, whether it's a limited edition or standard release, you should absolutely see for yourself. Very often, when Arrow Video puts out a 4K disc of something, it's going to be significantly better than the standard Blu-ray already available. And in this case, that's definitely no exception. Tony Scott's True Romance, which recently came out from Arrow Video in both a limited edition as well as a steelbook, looks beautiful. I never liked how the Blu-ray looked. It looked overly processed, almost to the point where it just looked too smooth. And here on the 4K, it appears very filmic, beautiful, and I think the best it has ever looked. Arrow Video put such great care into releasing this one on 4K. And once again, if you enjoyed the limited edition extras, I think you're going to be in for a treat. If you're familiar with Arrow Video, at least their Blu-ray releases, you know that international films also get a lot of love from the label, and on 4K, that is also the case. Cinema Paradiso was recently released from Arrow, and I'm a big fan of movies that celebrate movies. This one being just a good example of this. I enjoy classic cinema as it stands, but films that are a little bit more modern that celebrate that, I'm all for it. And I think that the extras included from Arrow Video really, I think, give you a whole new picture to enjoy the film in. And I want to see more of this. And I'm pretty confident that going forward on 4K, we will get this from Arrow Video. And I recommend this personally. If you want a good movie that just celebrates all things film from a, classic standpoint, I think you'll enjoy it. And Arrow Video put out a wonderful edition of the film. Normally when a movie is released on 4K and there's multiple different editions of the film, more often than not, the theatrical edition will be the one to get the 4K, but in Arrow Video's release of Donnie Darko, both versions of the film are available on the 4K format. And I think giving the viewers a choice is really something that Arrow Video goes the extra mile for. And also, if you might remember when it was initially released, the theatrical edition of the film suffered a little bit of a stutter, but speaking to Arrow Video's testament of customer service, they issued a recall, made everything right, and a lot of major studios, when it comes to 4K releases and there's a problem, it takes a lot longer to get things resolved. That being said, the Arrow Video edition of Donnie Darko has a lot of great extras, and while this is not going to be the most visually stunning movie, it's just not that kind of film, the 4K edition is worth owning, and I think either version that you pick, whether it's the theatrical or director's cut, it's handled very well from the Arrow release, and I think fans of the film will enjoy it. When it comes to old school horror, boutique labels like Arrow Video really know what they're doing, and with the recent release of An American Werewolf in London, this 4K brought a smile to my face. This movie has never looked better. If you enjoy a good comedy horror film, director John Landis has you covered here, and I think the 4K presentation with HDR, it makes the film look better than it ever has. I was a big fan of this release, and the extras are also really just spot on. Fans of this film, you're going to enjoy it here, and if you've never seen it, check this one out. I don't think you'll regret it. Spaghetti westerns are also getting a lot of love on 4K recently, and with Arrow Video's release of Django, this one is a must-have for any Western fan. I think it's also personally one of the best looking 4K discs from Arrow Video. It's got a great encoding to it, and the HDR grading makes that gritty look, little bursts of color. I think it's very cinematic, filmic, and it just looks beautiful on 4K. I'm a big fan of the movie, and of course it has a lot of great extras, especially in the limited edition set. Yeah, I mean, of course, Sergio Leone is, the pinnacle of, spaghetti westerns, but other directors have also taken on the genre, and one of those did a great film with Django. I recommend this one highly, so yes, Arrow Video release is a must-own. We all have wish list items that we'd like to see a 4K disc from, and a lot of times boutique labels like Arrow Video do a great job granting those wish list items. And in this case, Tremors, this one absolutely was worth the wait, and the visual presentation is beautiful. The movie looks great on 4K. There's a good color palette, and with the HDR grading, it does a very respectful job keeping it cinematic and filmic. I love the film, and to have the best possible version on a 4K disc is it warms my heart in cases like this. Fans of the film, run out and get this one. Get the limited edition, get the standard release. Just add this one to your library and enjoy Tremors on 4K from Arrow Video. And finally, there's often some iconic films that really deserve the best possible 4K release, and Arrow Video also does a great job in those instances. For this one, Robocop, I think it checked a lot of boxes, and it did every one of them exactly the way we wanted it to. The visual presentation is beautiful. The HDR and Dolby Vision really give you the best look of the film. And not only do you get the theatrical cut, but also the unrated edition in 4K. And last but not least, the Dolby Atmos. The newly created Dolby Atmos track on this film is bonkers. It has a great audio sound, and this one just has a great presentation from start to finish. And of course, not just to be ignored, the extras. Fans of this film are going to have plenty to dive right into. I love it. The packaging, from limited edition to steelbook. You get your choice of this film in any way you want it, and Arrow Video did a wonderful job with Robocop. Absolutely put this one in your collection. So those are 10 4K Blu-rays from Arrow Video you should definitely check out for yourself, but of course there's many more out there. Wes Craven's The Hills Have Eyes and Flash Gordon. And I'm very anxious to see what happens in the future from Arrow Video. I can't wait. And for physical collectors, this is a great time. And with boutique labels like Arrow Video out there, I think we're in good hands. And if you're interested in any of these titles that I mentioned in the video, I will leave an Amazon link in the comments section. If you use it, it really helps out the channel. But now it's your turn. What would you recommend from Arrow Video to see on 4K? And what would you hope that the boutique label handles on 4K in the future? In the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.